Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the River City Boys podcast. Happy post Super Bowl week. So today, to kick off the off season, we're going to be talking a little UFL spring football.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with it. It's nice, we're going back to old format when it was just the me and you days running this pod. Sadly, our resident UFL fan cannot make the podcast today, so we're gonna talk about his favorite team in his absence. Let's get started with our UFL team, the Louisville Kings, the greatest team in the UFL.
That's who I think I'm excited about. I know you're excited about them too. It's nice to have a Kentucky team represented in any football. Hopefully, for both of our sakes, these teams are a little bit better than our NFL teams because we need some happiness on that front. So I'm excited to get a new team. It doesn't look exactly like everything's shaping up so far, but you never know. That's what it's all about. You got to play the games on the field.
It's looking rough a little bit right now for the Kings, but I guess we got to take that with a grain of salt in the fact that no team right now is looking that good in the UFL.
Yeah.
Almost every single team is being coached by a coach who has absolutely no right to be a coach. For
a lot of these coaches are good. We don't know about Chris Redmond. That's our issue, is that some of these other teams have experience. Like Orlando's got Beck, and he's got some experience. So. But we'll see how it goes. We got a couple Kentucky guys that I'm excited about in Lynn Bowden and Benny Snell. I really liked watching them play Kentucky. They were two of my favorite guys. Lynn Bowden played a little quarterback for the Cats back in the day. And then, so that's the two guys I'm looking forward to the most on the Kings. How about you, Hunter?
I gotta be honest, being the avid UFL hater I was for the longest time, I couldn't tell you a single player that's touching the field for our team this year. But at the end of the day, I'm going to root for him. Ryan turned me around on being a UFL fan, and we're proud to finally get UFL football down in Kentucky because the only thing Kentucky needs is football because everything else around here stinks if it's not basketball. So it's nice to get a team around here.
Hey, Kentucky baseball did pretty good this last season, but they don't normally. So, But, yeah, that's exciting for Louisville to get a team. I know they've been trying to get an NBA franchise for a little bit. They had a couple exhibition games there. I went to one of them. And it's nice because it's a short drive down the road for us, only about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to make it to a game or two. I know Ryan's planning on attending a couple. We might try to go up to Columbus. But for sure we'll be going to a Kings game in May, probably against the Defenders, I think. So we're looking at the ticket prices. They look a little steeper than we expected.
I gotta be honest. I'm not a big fan of these ticket prices because this is kind of like if I'm going to a minor league baseball game, I'm expecting to pay $20. I'm not going to these games looking to pay $40 just to be able to have a sit down seat.
The sit down seats we looked at.
$28. But
sit-down seats we were looking at was $60. So
yeah, it's
good on one hand that it seems like the tickets are selling. I keep seeing stuff on Instagram about the ticket and sold. That's encouraging. But I guess we can't know until we start getting going. Maybe they'll go down, maybe they'll go up when people see the product on the field. Hopefully they enjoy it. It seemed like there was a pretty good turnout. The Louisville Kings had a little Reds Fest. I know that's not the actual name of it, but that's what us Cincinnati
Fest, man.
Adjacent area would call it. And that seemed to have a pretty good turnout. It looked to be 1,000 people there. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I'm glad because usually, you expect the UFL to come down here and just be like every other UFL team. No one really gives a shit about it. No, the tickets just aren't going to sell. No offense to the rest of the UFL league. No one watches this shit. But it's nice to see that at least some Louisville fans are coming out. So maybe our opinions on the Louisville coach taking over, was a little off base considering the fact clearly having a UFL coach has made a little bit of an effect on getting people down here, and the players actually interacting with fans and not staying all the way up in Dallas is also a positive.
Yeah, I get you don't like that they have a hub and that they all travel to this.
The worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I would agree, but that's not the idea behind this video. We're just supposed to get the hype up about the UFL season, which kicks off March 27th. And right around the corner, we're gonna have jersey reveals coming out pretty soon. So with the Kings, our colors are like green and like black. I cannot say I'm the biggest fan of green colors, but a lot of people like Oregon's jerseys and Baylor's jerseys. So there can definitely be some nice concepts. So I'm hopeful to see what those end up being, what those turn out to be.
I think the one good thing the UFL has going for them is like there a lot of the teams have kind of unique color bases. Like the Orlando has like orange and blue.
Yeah, that's a
So
cool call. I mean, like besides
a
the
lot.
Bengals.
Yeah, okay, chill out. A lot of
No, I'm
teams are
just
gonna
saying,
a
like,
lot of teams are gonna be like definitely like adventurous with the way the jerseys are gonna look. I'd like to see what they're gonna stick with, like how the NFL usually goes pretty basic with jerseys, and there's not a whole lot of alternate jerseys that they're wearing, or if they're gonna take like you said the Oregon route, and they're gonna have a bunch of alternate jerseys that they're gonna flip flop between the season. Because I feel like with how the UFL is, I feel like you gotta give and take where you can, and I feel like jersey is definitely one of those things that is always going to attract a fan to a sport is if a team has a cool jersey. I mean, I know there's a bunch of people who root for Oregon just because they love the Oregon's jerseys, and the green color definitely gives them a lot of variety to,
I
you know.
think it's interesting that all the teams, not just the three new ones, like obviously the Kings, Storm, and Aviators, were going to need to get new jerseys, but it's every team is going to get a new jersey. They're trying to get a fresh look, and I like that because I think jerseys add excitement on top of jersey sales, which it obviously is going to help. But I think just like making your team look new and fresh, everybody likes new jerseys. It's not normal that teams complain, "Oh, I liked our old jerseys so much. How dare you get new ones?" You know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because especially with the fact that they went through a whole player draft. Every player is going to see a
Yeah.
different team this year unless they got drafted by the same team. So there's going to be a lot of moving pieces. So I think this is a good way for the league to take a good refresh on years of not doing entirely great on ticket sales and viewership and all of that. And I think now that a lot of teams are also going to be like going to soccer fields, like the Kings and Columbus are taking up the Crew Stadium, and I know the Kings are taking up whatever soccer teams down in Louisville. So it'll be nice that they're going to be able to fill a stadium and not be like Detroit was
Yeah.
last year, where
Yeah.
only the front row has fans. So
Yeah, I
it'll
think
look a lot better for the league.
I think pretty much every team's switching to like a soccer stadium, so that's very exciting. It's gonna look better. It's kind of like NBA sized because that's more what I don't watch MLS, so that's more like when I'm about 20,000 fans. I think that's more doable for the league. These NFL stadiums, like you mentioned Detroit, that's like 100,000, 90,000 fans seats. It's pretty hard to expect anything to fill that the way like
Yeah.
most pop stars can't do that. It's like Taylor Swift and then the NFL. That's about the draw that you gotta get to
Yeah.
be able to fill these stadiums. So it makes sense that they're going this route. I like it. I think it's a lot better. Um, so about the jerseys, which I want to talk about the helmets. That's the only thing we have seen revealed, and I thought the have you seen them? I thought the Columbus Aviators one's pretty slick.
I
That
have not
baby
gotten to
blue.
see I've not gotten to see the UFL ones yet. I got to take a look at this.
Okay, yeah, look one up. Look one up. I think ours looks, but I think I could see, like I
Oh,
said, yeah, I think that's pretty sweet.
these Orlando Storm helmets are beautiful.
I think they've done some good things, especially with that. There was some leaked UFL jerseys, uh, earlier,
Yeah, I've seen the
that I
pictures
think
of those. Yeah.
by Wapoli, and some people think that they're real, some people don't. I actually kind of would be a fan of those Kings ones. That's kind of the route I want them to take with like
Yeah.
maybe the black or dark gray or whatever it is. Be the like primary and then a little bit of like the green as accent because if you just went all light green, I don't think it's gonna
Yeah, no,
look very good.
I feel like that would be like Orlando going with like a full orange jersey.
Yeah,
I mean,
like the
you
Bengals
don't
pull it
want to
off.
walk outside and look like vomit on the field. So I feel like they definitely got to be like going with like secondary colors that they have. Like the Battlehawks should. I think the Battlehawks. I'm not a big fan of the Battlehawks blue. I think they should be sticking more with
I
like
like it.
the gray.
Here's the one thing I'm worried
The
about
Renegade
maybe
pull off
with
the light blue a lot.
you mentioned Orlando specifically, so I'm gonna mention them. I don't like that. Like I think gray is like the secondary. I don't think gray looks that good as like a secondary. I think you need like a black or white because it kind of maybe looks a little like T-ballish when,
Yeah.
or like travel baseballish when it's your second color is a gray. I think it needs to be like the Raiders make it work because gray is like their primary color, but I don't
I
know.
mean,
I want to know your opinion.
I think the UFL kind of had that coming from the jump because I got to be honest, as much as like the UFL did a good like job with like the names and like the color combos. I mean, the logos, I definitely feel like I'm not the biggest fan of most of the teams' logos. It kind of looks like kind of the logos that you'd see in like Madden 12 when you were doing added your own team creators. So I feel like the logos I'm not the biggest fan of. They definitely could have done a lot better with the logos. The colors are working really well. The Kings using a green is good, but the logos I've just never been a huge fan of. It like you said, I think the logos are the things that look T-ball-ish.
I think I don't know. I think there's only so many options. I guess is what I'd get at here, but I think it like they want to separate themselves. So they want to have their own like separation, and I
Yeah.
think that there's not a whole lot of overlap in the color combos. Like there's not one of these teams that I think, oh well, that's just a rip off of the Commandos, or you know what I
Yeah,
mean,
because like
something
you could
like
say,
that.
because especially with the Bengals and the Browns, like the fact that Paul Brown
Yeah,
took over the Bengals and literally copied the Browns, and we still
yeah,
use that to that day. I feel like they really did because I mean, there's no like the blues are all different blues. The reds, like the Stallions have a dark red, the defenders have the bright red.
yeah.
The Kings picked the most unique color out of the league besides the Storm with orange. And so yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like you're not
Yeah,
gonna
the
have
Kings.
issues
I
where the
mean,
jerseys are gonna look the same.
I think the Kings definitely did something like like that green. I mean, yes, the Eagles are green and the Packers to an extent are green, but it's not this kind of bright green. This is definitely
Yeah.
more Oregon and Baylor than 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 the Eagles or
Yeah.
whoever. You
Yeah, like you said, it's a good separation
think they
from
did a great job of
NFL
that. I
logos.
like the separation.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure. Because you'll be able to like if you're a
especially
UFL fan, you'll
it's
be able to wear these around without getting mixed up with like an NFL team's jersey. Like it's unique to
yeah
the
like
league.
and
It's not gonna get mixed up.
yeah, I definitely. And there's not a whole lot of like overlap. I mean, there's a little bit with the cities. Like the Defenders are obviously in the same places, the Commandos. But besides that, that's really the only one that's. I mean, Houston and Houston. But so those two are like most of it. They have their own city, and it's expanding into a new market. So I think that's very good. A good way to handle it is you're not trying to compete too much. I mean, obviously you're going in the spring, so you're not competing too much anyways. But I think there is
Yeah,
an element of that.
I do like the balance because like it's giving different cities new teams, but like you're also given
Yeah.
the option to like especially like 'cause Texas is big into football. There's two Texas teams. So I mean, you get that expansion from the UFL. So you give the option for people who are watching, especially in Texas. That's like one of the highest viewerships in football. So you're expanding that out, and then you're giving these NFL fans opportunity to watch football during the spring. Because I mean, the problem with a lot of NFL fans is once the NFL ends, you have no other option. Not a lot
Yeah.
of fans were wanting to turn into the XFL because the XFL was kind of it felt like almost
I
like
don't.
KO. It felt like Superstar KO and Madden. Like it really like it felt more like cartoonish than it did like an actual league. And I feel like that's what the
Yeah.
UFL's done good. It's separating itself from the XFL is by making is like trying to make it more serious of a league and like
Yeah.
it's just an
Ryan's
expansion
definitely
off the
talked about
NFL.
that. That she likes that he did feel like the XFL was kind of gimmicky and that this is real good football. And I'm inclined to. I'm definitely more inclined to pay attention to it because I'm one of those people that if I'm watching a game, it doesn't even matter. Like it could be anything. I'm rooting for a team. I'm not normally just one to sit there and just be like, oh well, I just want to see a good game. I pick out one of the teams based off whatever, and it was hard for me in the past to like align with the UFL team because there was a bit of fatigue. My team had just been eliminated, and I think I think that this can fill that void because I've been excited for this for the UFL. I've been hearing about it. I knew my state was getting a team, and I been looking forward to the Kings and following the roster getting built. So maybe it'll be like something to hold me over for the Chargers. I don't feel that
Yeah.
void that's like, oh no, I don't get to watch Justin Herbert for a couple
Yeah.
years or for a couple months.
Yeah. It'll be nice, and I really hope they're like, now that they have like they're set teams. The players are now like they're set to their teams for
Yeah.
a couple years now. So it'll be nice now that hopefully I'm hoping, like I've said 1,000 times over, that the players get more interaction with the state and the city that they're located in, and that's the reason why I've been so against them having a hub in one singular state, because the way you grow rivalries, the way you grow a big fan base, so where like people are getting judged for being bandwagons, is that you build the camaraderie within the city that you're playing in, and I feel like the Kings are doing really well with that, because
Yeah, like they already
they
had
hosted
the
Kings Fest, and they had thousands of people there. You're getting autographs from players. You're letting the
yeah.
players you're not treating these players as like third-rate NFL players. You're treating these players like they're professional
So your
athletes who
star
are
players, and
competing.
I
Yeah,
like that personally they brought in Benny Snell as one of the guys to sign. And it's like, yes, because this is something, he went to Kentucky. It's easier for them to relate. Yeah, he played in the NFL and he's one of the bigger names on the team. That certainly helps, but it's just they could have picked a lot of guys, or Benny Snell could have declined to do it, and it seemed like he had a good time doing it, and that's what fans really like to see, that relationship. Even at Reds Fest, sometimes, there's definitely players you can tell enjoy the process more than
yeah,
others, so that's always like, oh, that's going to be one of my favorite players because he talked
yeah.
to me,
And
and
I
he
think
didn't
that'll
have to
be
do that.
good for the UFL, because like these players are kind of like if you're joining the UFL, you're not joining it because you're going to make a shit ton of money. You're joining it because you like playing football. So
Yeah,
that'll be the really good big difference between like NFL, is that the players are going to they're going to want to be on the field. Like they're going to enjoy playing. They're going to give the attention to fans. They're going to give the attention to the media, and like a lot of NFL players, cuz this is a lot of the players. This is like their way to try and get back into the NFL. And the more presence you have with fans, media, showing up on the field every day and giving it all your all,
I
it's kind of like a JUCO player showing out so they can get their shot at D1.
I don't know if you, Hunter, did you ever go to training camp with like with the Bengals?
I go to a lot. I go to the training camp every year.
So yeah, I always enjoyed like when I was going, and the guys that, like, obviously, like the Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, those guys are making the 53, but those fringe guys that are really competing their tails off and going out there trying to make special team spots or fourth string wide receiver spots or stuff like that, it's always interesting seeing those guys go 100%. And yes, there's certainly some good football. There's some good talent on all these guys, on all these rosters. All these guys are uber talented at the sport they've chosen to play. And it's just interesting to see that these guys, like you said, they're not in it for the money. Yes, they want that dream of making it to the NFL,
Yeah,
but they also just want to go out there and play football. So it's like us getting to see these guys compete harder than anybody is certainly a pleasure. You don't have to see guys like George Pickens, who maybe are uber talented, but it's just like they don't get the ball a couple times, they're going to get disappointed. These guys all know that the goal is bigger than just themselves in this season, so that's fun to see.
yeah. And I definitely like I was saying, the players like getting connections. Like when I went to a Bengals NFL training camp, it was like Charlie Jones, like second year, he wasn't really showing out. And so, but I got his autograph, and I
Yeah,
knew that when I looked on the field, I would see Charlie Jones getting kick returns. And I feel like that's a really good thing that they did with the Kings, is that you're giving all these fans the opportunity to relate to all the players. And that's exactly how you build the thing where, you build a legit fan base. And it's not like Ryan was, where you're rooting for the league to
yeah.
succeed. You don't
He
give a
was
shit
just pulling
about the
for the
league.
league, and that's admirable, But
Yeah.
he again was in the same boat I am, and he's a better man at watching that than I am. But I'm just like, I need a team to pull for before I'm
Yeah.
gonna just sit, park my bus at somebody, that I don't know.
Yeah, because that's
Um,
like the exact way you build it. Is like you get the fan bases. You get the fan bases hating the league like the NFL does.
yeah,
Like you're probably not going to find an NFL fan that likes Roger Goodell, but that's something every NFL fan can like rally around, is that they hate the league. So I feel like
yeah.
if you can
So
build that like relationship with teams and players to where like they unite and they're hating teams, they're hating the league, I feel like that's a really good.
it's a little bit off topic, but I saw that the UFL was contemplating making 60-yard field goals worth 4 points. And they also, what do you think of that?
I got to be honest. I feel like if you're trying to get away from the XFL's comedic way of playing football, I feel like that's not the way. I feel like I like how the NFL adopts new styles of play from like college football, like with the new kick returns.
That's
I feel like,
UFL.
oh yeah, I forgot they took yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like they should kind of keep it to that style of playing. Don't expand, stick to like what people know. Because like now NFL fans are used to the new kickoff rule, so when they're watching the UFL, they're gonna understand what's going on. And I feel like
Yeah.
if you're giving away 4 points, you're gonna look like the CFL that gives you points if you miss a
For
field goal.
missing. I think
Yeah,
that rule
so
got changed finally, but yeah, that's a really
yeah,
dumb
so I
rule.
feel like that's something that like makes the league look just kind of like a joke. So I think it should stay at 3 points.
I don't know. I kind of see what you're saying. The arguments that it keeps games closer. I think the biggest thing that they're trying to do, because they also floated with banning punting on your side of the 50, which I really don't think that, because there's a
That's
lot of
silly.
strategy that involves in that. 4 points, it's to keep games closer, and I don't know. I feel like getting 9 points for a touchdown possibly already does that job enough. I mean, I feel like if you're down 13 points, that shouldn't be a field goal and a touchdown away
Yeah.
tying the game. So I don't know. I see both sides of it. I don't think this is the worst thing ever. Like I do the 4th and 15, but I could
I
see
feel
it.
like
It's just
I feel like it's kind of like that one rule that Ryan was advocating for so much. Like what was it? If you made it on like a 4th and 20, what was that
no. It's
stupid
yeah. It's
rule?
4th and 15 instead of onside kicks.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I mean,
I feel like you when you you do too much with it, you make the
yeah,
league
and
look
that's
like
how
a joke, and
UFL
then you're
does
gonna
it.
get
Yes, the argument's at 10% on onside kick. You're not supposed to get the ball back for free. It's supposed to
yeah
be a Hail Mary, Like it's not supposed to be, oh well, let's flip a coin if 21-point lead has a chance of winning the game. No, like
yeah. I didn't know that was an actual UFO rule. I thought that was just proposed.
yeah.
I didn't. That's yeah. I feel like that's definitely
No,
gonna
the
turn.
fourth and fifth. I think it's 4th and 15. It might be 4th and 20, but that is a rule. They do not have onside kicks. They do have 4th and 15.
I feel like for newer fans that'll make them enjoy it because it's gonna be like a change. But I feel like if you're looking to grow as like a league like the NFL has, I feel like
Well, the NFL is
having
considering
done
doing it.
yeah, which God, I'm praying to God the owners aren't dumb. But
You
I
guys,
feel like that just makes the league look too jokish.
you know that I like defense. I like watching a good defensive game, and you've made fun of me about it. I thought the Super Bowl was actually a pretty good game.
They're not.
Some missed throws by Drake May and stuff like that, but I do enjoy seeing a good defense. I don't. One of the things I hate is when a team's able to pick up 5-6 yards of carry. So that really grinds my gears. So it's one of the things that, like, if you build a 13-point lead or a 10-point lead, that's a little bit setting about the UFL, that you do get 9 points, and it does seem like momentum. You can come back so quickly. Like I like there's some like they said in the Seahawks when they went up 9-0, that felt like a major thing, that they worked down the field 3 times and got field goals, and now the Patriots need more than just one big play to get them back in the game. So it's always fun to see, but I'm intrigued. I'm excited to see it. One thing I'm really excited to see is, you like Joe Burrow, I like Justin Herbert, and it looks like our quarterback's going to be Jason Bean, so we finally get like a traditional dual threat quarterback. I understand Justin scrambled a decent amount this year because he had to, but it's going to be seeing a good to see, a really dynamic actual running quarterback like he was in Lawrence.
Yeah, because I mean, when you look at the stats, like with him at Kansas, there's those few games where he has like 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's some of those games where it stands out. I wouldn't say it looks like on a traditional sheet, it's not going to look like the best player. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's UFL, so this is the kind of talent you're gonna get. And I feel like with his performance at Kansas, I definitely feel like he definitely has the ability to do it. I mean, his rushing, he rushed like a beast. He can throw really good. I feel like the interceptions could be an issue that comes
I
through, but I mean, he also hasn't played since 2023. Besides, I think outside of like a few just like random leagues. So I think it'll be good
it's
for him. What?
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think after a few years of having it off, I feel like he'll definitely be able to bounce back. And I mean, it's not like I think it'll be like he's playing defenses like he played at Kansas. So
Uh,
it'll be good competition.
I think the competition's good, but I'm excited to see, Chris Redman, he's the all-time leading passer over guys like Lamar Jackson and Teddy Bridgewater that did go to the NFL. Chris Redman is the leading passer at Louisville. So I think he's in a good situation to coach up Jason Bean. He wasn't as dynamic of a runner as Jason is, but I don't think that really minds too much. Like you said with the interceptions, I'm interested to see in a more pro style offense because college, it's gimmicky, it's fast
Yeah,
paced, shotgun
especially like
only.
Kansas.
Yeah, Big 12
It's
football,
yeah.
especially in 2023. But he led Kansas to some of its most successful seasons that it had. So it certainly
Yeah.
seems to be a fun time, and he seems to be a fun guy for the job. And especially some of the other guys like Benny Snell, who a lot of Steelers fans I've talked to, and they're disappointed to see him go and not be. They feel like he didn't get a fair shake at it, so it's good to see. Only 10 games, but hopefully he can get to that 1,000-yard plateau. That'd be nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for like a lot of these players that like the name recognition isn't as much, but like if you were a fan of the teams, you're gonna know who a lot of these players are. So I feel like that'll be another good thing is like fans can like during the off season they could go turn and watch players who they would watch sometimes that would get some starts at wide receiver or that they're doing kick returns. So it'll be nice for fans to be able to turn on games and have that name recognition, and that will work to build fan bases a lot, especially fan bases that aren't just based in the city that they're living in. Like you're a Chargers fan, and we live in Cincy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like having that connectedness, you're kind of gonna be able to understand a little bit more to players that you aren't even living in the state.
No, I mean, I mentioned, yeah, like you said. I mean, I mentioned I'm a Kentucky football fan. I do watch them, but I like Kentucky basketball more, and I'm more of a Penn State football fan. So this is the first football experience where, yes, this is the home team that I'm rooting for, home team in parentheses, but that it is going to be different for me. I'm excited to see that. Ryan also, he's a Packer fan from Cincinnati, so to be that there's Packer fans everywhere, not so much the case with Chargers fans, even in LA. But seems so it's gonna be cool to see. I think the Kings might sell more tickets than the Chargers do. You never know. That's
they're
that's the
they're
way
definitely gonna
that's
have a
the
lot
way it
more home
looks.
fans at their stadium.
But no, on that note, like you said, some of the guys that you're excited to, I'm a Penn State fan, so KJ Hamler getting another opportunity with the Orlando Storm. That's something I'm really excited to see. Uh, because he went with the Broncos. He was kind of there when Russ was over there not cooking. So he didn't. I feel like he didn't get as fair of a shake as he could have. And then another guy that I'm excited to see. I mean, Matt Corral. He was a big Ole Miss guy that people were a big fan of him. He got drafted in like the third or fourth round, but he never really got a shot in the NFL. And he's kind of bounced around the XFL and UFL. So it's gonna be cool to see him in action again. And then some of the coaches like AJ McCarron and Ted Ginn Jr. I'm excited to see how those guys work out too.
Yeah, I mean, especially AJ McCarron, especially since he was a backup. I mean, he played a game for the Bengals during the regular season, so it'll be nice to see him. Even though he's
AJ
not going to be
McCarron
playing,
almost took you guys to a playoff victory.
he did. But so it'll be nice to see AJ McCarron. I wish he was still playing because I know he was amazing. I didn't watch it really, but I know he was amazing.
Yeah, he
for
won
the
MVP.
Battlehawks. So I'm hoping that can translate. I'm not the biggest in believers of AJ McCarron translating his talent on the field to head coaching job. But I mean, and I was looking forward to it. There was a Bengals player, Eric All was meant to play, but apparently Ryan told me recently that he got cut, which I was kind of
Yeah, that's
surprised
been
by
a
because
little.
he was like a legit starter for the Bengals. It's not like he was subbing in and out. He was like
Yeah,
playing most
it's
snaps,
like shouldn't the Bengals be in the UFL anyways?
basically.
But no, Hunter, are you excited to see a running quarterback in Jason Bean? Joe's not going anywhere. It's certainly not Joe Flacco. So
It'll be nice because I feel like that's what you get out of Lamar and John Harbaugh is like John Harbaugh could really never teach Lamar like the natural athletic ability he has being a running quarterback. So I think Jason Bean will be able to survive off of his running ability that he already has. And then, like you said, the Kings head coach will be able to easily get his passing ability up by a mile. He's being how good he was in college. So I feel like the development that's going to come off his arm is going to be good with in stark contrast to his already amazing running ability that he has. So,
yeah. On that note, just want to say one more thing. You guys know I've had my fair share. I know Hunter does not like Zach Taylor, but I've seen what pure bad coaching has been like with Anthony Lynn and Brandon Staley. So, and now I have Jim Harbaugh, who I think is an amazing coach. And I feel like Chargers fans, yes, there's not a whole lot of us out there, but on Instagram especially, we see that we do value our coaches like Jesse Minter and Jim Harbaugh, and hopefully McDaniels is the same. But we truly do cherish Jim Harbaugh, and I feel like Chris Redman could be like that. He seems, from what I've seen in the Instagram videos he posts, to be a very natural guy that seems to know the game very well. So I'm excited for that. And I'm also excited to see if he can help Jason Bean out, like you mentioned.
yeah, and I mean, you could tell he's not in it for like, he's obviously not trying to use. I mean, obviously any person taking a coaching job for the UFL is probably trying to use it as a footstone. But I mean, you can clearly tell that he's not like that's not his only reason he's coaching. He like genuinely enjoys doing this. It's not just a stepping stone for him to get a job in the NFL, hopefully. So I think he's like legitimately all in for this team. And it seems like all the players are in for it at least. So, I mean, I haven't seen any negative things come out about players, which you definitely can't say about the NFL. NFL players there's a lot of drama with the teams they're on. And we really just aren't seeing that with players on the UFL because they all enjoy being on the teams that they're on right now.
I truly do. I've come around, like you said, because of Ryan, but also especially like I thought as you that this is training camp football, but it's not. I mean, this is these guys. This is a very from everywhere, from the head coach to the offensive line coach to the backup left tackle to the starting quarterback. Everybody, this is another chance at a dream of making it to the NFL. And we've seen it was like 137 UFL players that made it to the NFL, and Dante Topin and Jake Bates and Brandon Aubrey headline the list. But there's a lot of valuable snaps being played in the NFL, and these guys all see that, and I'm sure that they see themselves as next, but they also just want to get that chance to play football again, like you talked about.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what star kickers pop out in the UFL this year that are going to translate to the NFL.
Hopefully the Kings got a good one. Hold on. Let me find you his name, because I think the Cleveland Browns, if Andre Smite does not work out, might be tapping on the door of, hold on, my computer's loading. Hunter, stall for a second.
Who's the one?
Okay, Tanner
kicker?
Brown.
Is that a kicker?
We have Tanner Brown from Oklahoma State. That's going to be our guy. So watch out, Pro Bowl 2027.
That's the Niners' future. There. That's your Niners' future kicker right there.
Yes. No, I mean, Brandon McManus did look pretty washed. I think the Packers might be calling on Tanner Brown.
Who's my goat who played for Indianapolis that has the glasses? Who's that guy again?
Rodrigo.
Yeah, bro, I love that guy. I watched him kick in Indianapolis. I'm praying that he gets his opportunity with the NFL because I love that guy.
He was a dog at Georgia. He actually had the record for most points in the AFC before in the SEC before Will Riker broke his record. He's the Vikings kicker now. So yes, obviously the glitz and the glamour of kicking in the UFL has led to some major talent. Which was also a reason they talked about the 4-point field goal, but you seem to not be as inclined to
not a like fan that of it. I mean, even if I'm a fan of it, it's not like it's anything that's going to happen anytime soon. I mean, whatever his name is, Cam Little, I think. I mean, he's one of the very few people that are drilling those field goals like that, especially when a lot of your good kickers are kind of starting to fade out of the league, like Justin Tucker, who the kind of kickers that can nail those consistently. Justin Tucker before the allegations.
Let's not talk about Justin Tucker, okay? Let's keep this family friendly. So, but yeah, Tanner Brown, you be our best player.
Look out for
season,
him.
So
if any NFL scouts are watching this podcast, Tanner Brown is who you need to look at for your future NFL kicker.
What do you mean if? I have good word that Joe Ortiz watches
You
every,
got good
and
word
I
like
think,
that.
yeah. What's your name? Mike Brown? No, not Mike
Is
Brown.
that
Who's your?
Duke
I don't
Tobin?
know.
That's player development. Never mind.
Yeah, Duke Tobin is Duke Tobin is a subscriber, and he's definitely like, oh,
Yeah,
Tanner Brown.
he's looking out for Bean. That's exactly who he's looking out for. He watches this
Duke
podcast
Tobin is
strictly to hear
looking.
about Jason Bean.
We will be giving you up to week insight on Jason Bean and his development in case Joe Burrow inevitably goes down again.
Me and Will be buying Jason Bean jerseys. The fact that when he's watching this podcast, because we know Jason Bean's a big fan of the River City
Jason
Boys.
Bean, if you comment in the River City Boys podcast YouTube video, we will buy a jersey. Same thing that goes with any UFL player on the any UFL player. We will buy your jersey if you comment
We will
in the
support
YouTube.
You join our you comment and you come on for an episode of our podcast. We will be rocking.
No,
your
you don't
jersey.
have to come on. You just have to. You just comment and subscribe, and we will buy the jersey for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We will support. We will support
note,
you, especially if your name is Jason Bean. We love you, Jason Bean.
yes,
Good luck.
Jason Bean, we trust. Tanner Brown too. Big Tanner Brown fans on this podcast.
And Jason Bean and Tanner Brown, we trust.
Okay, yeah, Jason, get him to the 50, and Tanner's gonna knock that thing in from 67 yards.
Yeah,
That's how it
exactly.
goes.
And we're gonna get them 4 points.
Yes, we are. So on that note, you want to sign? Honey, you think we should sign off, or you got anything more to say?
I think as just certified Jason Bean lovers, I think we should close it out. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like we said, and if UFL player comment and subscribe, your jersey is bought, and I will hang it up on my wall right behind me. You will replace Todd Frazier. You'll get a fat head on the wall.
Oh, we don't know if you'll have a fat head. We're sticking with the jersey because we cannot guarantee that you will have a fat head.
I'll get it custom made.
Okay.
All right, let's sign it off. It's been fun, everyone watching. This is the River City Boys. This is me and Will. Peace out.